Welcome to the United Nations University video channel. My name is Sebastian von Einsiedel. I'm the director of the Center for Policy Research at UNU. Today, it's our honor to welcome Toshio Arima at UNU. He is the former president of the Fuji Xerox company in Tokyo and is a member of the board of the United Nations Global Compact. And it is, of course, the Global Compact that Mr. Arima has joined us today to discuss. Most viewers of our channel will know that the Global Compact was created by UN Secretary General Kofi Annan in the year 2000. It is the world's largest corporate social responsibility initiative with over 8,000 business participants all over the world. Companies that do sign up to the Global Compact commit themselves to implement 10 principles in the areas of labor, environment, human rights, and anti-corruption. Mr. Arima, thank you very much for joining us here at UNU. Let me start by asking you to explain to our viewers why the Global Compact has been created in the first place.
Since I joined as a president of Fuji Xerox, the Global Compact, in the year 2002, and this organization was created before that time frame. So I did not be at the place when this organization was created, but I heard that in 1999, then Secretary General Kofi Annan made a speech at the so-called Davos meeting in front of the leaders of the business community, saying that, folks, the way globalization is going on today is not right. Let's create or let's develop the globalization together with the United Nations and business community to become a globalization with a human face. That was the start of this endeavor. And I heard, requested Professor John Ruggie to draft a plan of, or concept of this Global Compact. And it was unanimously supported in July 2000, the next year, by 50 business top leaders in New York City. And that concept was approved by the General Assembly of the United Nations in September 2000. And that's how this United Nations Global Compact was created.
Interesting. So, Mr. Arima, why did the United Nations decide to establish a voluntary initiative rather than propose a regulatory code?
Again, I believe that the globalization had bright side and dark side. Bright side is the global, the leading companies worldwide led the development of the economy and industry. But dark side is, with these activities, there are many new social problems brought in, such as, of course, the environmental, the warming problems, or biodiversity issues, or child labor issues, or forced labor issues, or corruptions. All those things were brought in by the globalization. And since those issues are brought in by those the corporations, United Nations, which is the gathering of the state, they cannot do or change this situation by themselves directly, but unless they work together with business community. That's why they chose this voluntary, the collaborative organization.
I see that leads me directly to my next question. Under your leadership, the Fuji Xerox company in 2002 joined the Global Compact. What motivates a big company such as Fuji Xerox to join an initiative like the Global Compact, and why would a company like that take a voluntary arrangement such as this one seriously?
I have been working in Fuji Xerox so many years. At the time I signed the letter to the Secretary General, and during that process, I also have been involved in so-called corporate social responsibility activities, and I realized that it's very social activities, and the one company only cannot do many things. That we have to work together with the business community or NGOs or public organizations. So I realized that the United Nations Global Compact is a very, very attractive scheme and mechanism. And I really was convinced that we need that kind of mechanism to promote CSR.
So now that the initiative has been ongoing for 15 years, how well do you think the Global Compact has done in nudging companies to become better corporate citizens?
How well? The answer is fairly well, and not perfect, of course. And the Global Compact, both on United Nations side and local networks side, have been developing the very rich for the ways of working together. On UN side, they have two basic mechanisms. One is, not only two, but basically, one is across the principles or across the organizations, they lead the initiatives or working groups, like lead. This is the initiative for the global leading the top level, the CSR, the actors. And another is PRME, which is Principles for Business Management Education, or PRI, Principles for Responsible Investment. All those things are contributing your word, nudging the corporations to pursue the CSR. But at the same time, in each principal areas, like human rights, there are several working groups or initiatives, and so forth. So on the local area, local network side, there are similar, the working groups and activities going on. Very fully, the participated activities are going on. And as a result, as you said, the Global Compact, the United Nations gathered 12,000 signatories, and 8,000 of that is from business. And there are 84 local networks globally, and Japan Network is one of them. And we have roughly 200 signatories. And people are gathering, participating very actively. But I said fairly well. The reason is the speed is not so fast enough. We should be running much faster. And also, there are many the participants, but not fully complying with the rule of the United Nations. Yeah.
Now, since its inception, the Global Compact has been criticized from various sides for lacking monitoring mechanisms, for lacking enforcement mechanisms, and for failing to hold non-compliant companies to account. Isn't there thus the risk that the Global Compact just helps companies blue wash themselves and improve their image by wrapping themselves into the United Nations flag?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am aware of that, the accusation, but in reality, having over 12,000 signatories, or going up to 20,000 in the near future, there's no way to inspect each of the signatories' conduct in detail. So in reality, it's not possible. But at the same time, I believe Global Compact is a principle-based organization. And also, it's a mechanism or a network organization to nurture the signatories. And we are not, the United Nations Global Compact is not expecting perfect the participant, but rather they want to see the room to improve. So if anyone wants to improve and learn and want to be better, it's welcome.
But don't you think there is a risk that by failing to sanction the bad apples and by keeping them on board, that the entire initiative suffers from a legitimacy loss and therefore loses some appeal to those companies who actually want to be compliant?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a risk, I agree. But there are two basic mechanisms to cope with that situation, as I understand. One is the integrity measure. It is a request to any signatory to submit the so-called COP, Communication on Progress report, once a year. So unless anyone actually doing or practicing or complying with the 10 principles, no one can write the COP. So if anyone do not do anything but use a name like Blue Wash, then they cannot submit the COP, and if they fail to submit for the consecutive 2 years, then they get delisted, expelled, kicked out. And another the mechanism, as I believe, as I see at the board meeting, is that anyone doing actually something wrong, and if anyone find it and see it's not wrong, then they can write a letter to the Global Compact office in the United Nations. Then they are obliged. Of course, it depends on the matters, but they make a judgment. And if these are legitimate the issues, problems, then GCO, Global Compact Office, helps to have the parties or actor who made the complaint with the party who is, in this case, the business organization, to discuss the problem and improve the situation. And GCO helps that. So there's a mechanism to do that.
Thank you. I should explain GCO stands for Global Compact Office for those viewers who don't know that. One final question, if I may. The Global Compact has local networks all over the world, and you serve as the chairman of the board of the Global Compact's Japan network. I wonder whether you can tell us a little bit what the Japan network is doing.
There could be, I would say, two basic ways of contributing this Global Compact effort. One is, of course, to expand the Japan network in Japan, inviting more signatories and inviting more and more the activities altogether. This is one. And by doing this, we can help or promote CSR, the activities in Japan, or globally through these the global enterprises in Japan. Another contribution is to participate in the UN Global Compact activities through sending out our messages or advocate, or participating in the regional local network forums or annual forums. All those the United Nations Global Compact activities we can participate and contribute. So these two basic, inside and outside, we can support.
Mr. Arima, I think it's incredibly important work you're doing. I wish you much success with it for the future on behalf of United Nations University. Thank you very much for joining us today here in Tokyo.
Thank you very much for inviting me tonight.
It has been a pleasure.